Michael and I, we're in love, and there's nothing to do about it. There's nothing to say.
The legendary music icon Diana Ross is rumored to have been in a secret relationship with the king of pop, Michael Jackson, long before it was legal. But what a lot of people don't know about is how dark their relationship actually was. Supposedly, Diana was the villain in this situation. But how much of their relationship was actually real? And how much is just rumors that have been floating around for decades now? What is the real truth about Michael and Diana's relationship? Michael and Diana first met at a very early point in their careers, especially when it comes to Michael. He was just 11 years old in 1969 when his family was discovered and the Jackson 5 signed to the record label Motown. This was also the point when he met Diana because Motown was her label too. Her girl group, The Supremes, was also signed to Motown. And this was the start of Diana and Michael's story together. And according to the rumors, this was also when Michael fell in love with Diana. He even lived with her at the time for about a year. This was because his family was in the process of moving to California, and it was just more convenient for Michael to live with Diana while that was going on. It was at this time that she really became someone very important in his life, and it really sounds like his feelings for her were more than just friendly. Michael himself talked about this pretty openly in interviews during his life, and that's really the core of the problem with all of it, because like I already said, Michael was just 11 years old at the time. He was really just a kid, even though he was quickly becoming extremely famous. But Diana was already an adult at the time. She was nearly 14 years older than Michael. So while he was just an 11-year-old kid, she was already an adult at 25 years old. And obviously, it's pretty natural that Michael developed some sort of feelings for her. I mean, at the time, it was really easy to idolize Diana. She was amazing and a music idol. And she was also very nice to Michael. She took care of him, let him live at her house, and the two of them bonded over music and art. It's not a surprise that he developed a huge crush on her, but it's what happened after that's the really dark part of it all. Because the thing is, we don't know what exactly Diana's feelings about Michael were. She hasn't been nearly as open about the whole thing as he was, so all we have to go on is how we saw her act around him in public. Well, that and the rumors. Because according to the rumors, there was actually something more between them, and it wasn't just a one-sided little crush that Michael had on Diana. The rumors say that the two of them were, at some point, romantically involved, and according to some of the rumors, they even took things to a physical level. But if that was the case, if Diana was actually reciprocating some of Michael's feelings, then that's a pretty problematic thing. Because obviously, the two of them first started building their relationship when Michael was just a child and Diana was a fully grown adult. And that's also when his feelings for her first developed. But at the same time, she was also definitely acting as a parental figure to him. Michael's mom, Katherine Jackson, even wrote in one of her books that Michael used to call Diana Mama. It's clear that at least on some level, he thought of her as a mother figure. And she also had a pretty significant hand in raising him and helping him become the adult that he was meant to be. So it's pretty inappropriate for her to then have a romantic or even physical relationship with him. And obviously, we don't actually know for sure what exactly happened between the two of them, but it seems like at least something was surely going on. And some of the stories go as far back as the filming of The Wiz. Diana and Michael starred together in the musical, and it came out in 1978 when Michael was just 20 years old. But in reality, he would have been 19 or even younger during the filming of the movie. And the thing is, even Michael's mom mentioned the movie in her book. She wrote that Michael wanted to land a role in it, and then it became clear that Diana would play the main role of Dorothy. And after that, Michael really wanted to get a role in the movie. And obviously, he managed to land one. And it was during the filming of The Wiz that Michael and Diana's relationship reportedly got physical. According to a rumor, one of Diana's assistants at the time had an interesting story to tell. Apparently, one morning, both Diana and Michael were late for filming. And that's a pretty big deal considering that movies are always filmed on a really tight schedule, and it's important that everyone is ready and present when they need to be. So Diana's assistant was apparently trying their best to get a hold of either Diana or Michael. And finally, they managed to reach one of them by phone, at which point it became apparent that the two of them were together. They were together at Michael's place. And the most shocking part is that the reason for this was because Diana had slept over at his place. And obviously, there are some assumptions that you could make about what they were doing. The assistant reportedly tried asking both Diana and Michael if something had happened between them, but neither of them actually gave any useful information. Diana allegedly told the assistant to ask Michael about that, and Michael in turn said to ask Diana. They obviously weren't going to confirm anything either way, but Diana pretty much did sort of confirm that something happened, at least to her friends. She was allegedly overheard talking to her friends about her experience with Michael, and that's pretty shocking already. But she didn't actually say anything very specific. Instead, she reportedly told her friends just one thing. She told them, well, I'll tell you one thing, Michael definitely isn't gay. Because that's one thing that people have been debating about Michael on and off. There have been rumors about him possibly being gay, and this apparently started all the way back when he was barely of age, because it seems like Diana was trying to address the rumors with her comment to her friends. But the question is, how would she know that? And the answer to that question is honestly pretty obvious. The implication is that night, things between the two of them got physical, and at that point, Michael was already an adult at probably 19 years old. But that doesn't change the history between him and Diana. She had been an adult in his life since he was a young kid, and it would be a pretty toxic thing for the two of them to then have an adult kind of physical relationship pretty much as soon as he became of age. But obviously, all of these are just rumors. It's not confirmed that Diana and Michael actually had something going on between them, although it's also been reported that the two of them were engaged at one point. This would have been around 1984, a few years later. At the 1984 AMAs, Diana was wearing a ring that Michael allegedly gave her when the two of them got engaged. And she also kissed Michael on the lips in front of everyone. But regardless of whether this rumor is true or not, the two of them never ended up getting married. Instead, Diana married Arnie Naez just a year later, in 1985, which reportedly broke Michael's heart. According to the rumor, the reason they couldn't get married was because Michael's mother strongly disapproved of it, and she reportedly made sure that the media were really mean to Diana about this, which then caused Diana to back out of the engagement because the bad press she would have gotten for marrying Michael would have ruined her career. So instead, she turned around and married Arne. And Michael, for his part, went on to write many sad love songs and breakup songs about Diana. Even his song, Dirty Diana, which came out in 1987, was reportedly written about Diana Ross. Michael himself said that he wrote the song about superfans and so-called groupies. But a lot of people still think that the song is actually about Diana, who many think was the love of his life. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Do you believe that Michael and Diana had a secret relationship? What are your thoughts on it all? Let me know in the comments below.